here.
It does.
Hello there.
Hello, Sardis.
And welcome to Deciphered Podcast, episode 6.5.
Oh, goddamn.
Because we're starting with something you don't know about yet. Oh, by the way, I'm Kieran. This is Rob. How are you?
So, I'm good, man.
Good.
How are you?
Awesome. Great.
I'm putting myself on silent as we speak.
So, we have episode 6.5 before we move on to the actual episode 7. Last week, we spoke about our favourite, like a band, our fantasy lineup for a band, people from different bands making up Sanguine. I was about to say I'm really surprised by your vocalist until we got distracted by something else. So I'm going back on that note now, because I remembered it since the podcast. You chose David Draymond and Corey Taylor. Kurt Cobain and David Grohl were members I thought you were...
David Grohl?
David Grohl.
That's how you know he's serious. Like,
Yeah,
it's
from
David
the
Grohl.
Fighters of Foo.
Fighters of Foo.
So, why did you
nerves
choose
of
those
armour.
guys? I'm really surprised why you didn't choose those guys. So, enlighten me.
I mean, for want of a lot less sort of embarrassing thing, I didn't think of them, really.
Okay.
To be fair, I mean, there's reasons why... I mean, who did you say?
Kurt Cobain
And Dave Grohl, right, okay.
Or
there's reasons why
either
I
or.
wouldn't choose Kurt, because I think he's a very unique voice for a very unique kind of sound, and that's just the way it is. Like,
Fair.
Dave, though... I mean, I guess, yeah. Under the premise of wanting to work with, like, two vocalists, though. It's just... It doesn't matter where we go!
Okay, just wondered why.
Life and shit.
The light's fine, it's the...
I said
it's
life.
Yeah, but the light is... You move the light. Anywho, okay, so that covers that. So now, welcome to episode 7. The only episode we've named in advance. That's not metal.
That's really not fucking metal.
No, this episode we are going to be discussing our favourite music away from the norm. We're going to discuss anything we like or love from our lives that isn't metal or rock.
I mean, there are a couple of things that I'm going to talk about that I wouldn't necessarily say I'm a fan of. So therefore, they're not like I love this, but
Oh, there's one definitely that's a nostalgia thing.
Yes.
It's
Yeah, okay,
One of my,
yeah.
It's probably my first ever favourite song. We're also going to be reviewing The Black Parade by My Chemical Romance, which a lot of people would say that's not metal, but it's emo. It's fucking emo, kids, mate. But
I'm just going to scrub out one of my comments on here then.
starting off with
The news. So
for weeks it's been shit with news,
it
and
really
this
has.
week
and
has
now
just shut
we're
on us.
Fucking inundated.
So much news.
Start us off with Smashing Pumpkins have confirmed a reunion tour.
They have, and it's with the original lineup, but one. Original lineup, but one. One of the people is just not allowed back. Apparently, there was some text that went by, but I didn't fucking read them.
I mean, amazing.
But they are back now. Exciting for everyone, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know that they had any issues whatsoever with members or anything like that. I don't care about Smashing Pumpkins.
I don't
saw
care
them at their
either.
reunion, and I was just like, awesome, good for them.
Okay, bye. Next up, we have Metallica receiving a Nobel Music Prize, or Nobel Award.
Yes, so it's actually the Polar Music Award. And the first one was given to Paul McCartney in the late 80s.
Interesting. Is it yearly?
I don't actually think it is every year, no. I think it's only ever given out...
When someone's that damn good.
Well, yeah, like anybody... The idea behind the prize is that it's supposed to be sort of like it doesn't matter what race, sex, like... You know, like sexual orientation that you label yourself as. If you have made a monumental change to music somewhere along the line... You deserve this award.
Okay, that's cool.
You might not necessarily get it. That's the thing. It hasn't been given out to like abundance of people.
Right. Okay.
Metallica got theirs.
Metallica.
It is. Yeah, it's fucking Metallica. It's fucking Metallica, Donaldson family. I lost myself entirely. Just thinking about Donaldson family.
Family. Right.
Maybe that's why they won the award.
Right now. Just for that speech. Fuck the songs.
No, they've actually been attributed to like a general sort of feeling among youth.
Hey, Jake.
We're talking about Metallica again, bro. You might not want to. You might.
Fuck Metallica.
Yeah. So basically, like they gave them the award for being a voice for a generation of people that were able to turn their like feelings of alienation into at a live show, basically.
Okay.
And thrash metal is apparently the way to do that.
It was massive at the time, wasn't it?
It fucking was, and they weren't necessarily the first people to be doing it. In fact, they definitely weren't, but they pioneered it in a way that was their own, and I believe firmly that they deserve the award.
Okay, good.
So, moving on to music that is possibly as sort of highly regarded as Metallica in some ways, we have Corey Taylor.
Yes, I forgot about this. So Corey Taylor has
yes.
said that recording for Slipknot's new album will be done by next year latest. However, he's also said there's rumours. Well, Sean Crayon, Clown, he said in an interview a couple of months back that he will probably be done with Slipknot after this album. He's getting old. He's getting tired of it, which is fair. He is
And
like.
Didn't Corey also say that he would then?
Corey has said in this interview that if Sean goes, Corey goes. He said that if there's no Clown, there's no Slipknot. He provides most of the creative juices, so that's that. If Corey goes, is there a Slipknot?
That side of it, okay, fair enough. I just don't see why that wasn't the case with members that were just as equally important, or like Joey fucking Jordison. Like
Joey was very important, but the biggest writer of the music, other than Corey, I believe, was Paul Gray.
well, yeah, considering that he
Billy?
didn't know how to play a bass until he was already in the band.
Yeah.
Pretty much, anyway. He probably had some like minor. He was a musician nonetheless. He probably had some minor doings with it, but yeah, considering that he came from literally like the bottom all the way up to the top, that's fucking monumental, man. So so we definitely will have a new Slipknot album in 2019. So that's something.
Maybe the last.
Moving on to Gibson guitars, because we'll save the next topic until the end of the news segment, which is substantially longer this week. Mm-hmm. So Gibson guitars are
the main topic, I think.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. And then the news.
So yeah, Gibson guitars are on the very edge of bankruptcy.
Shame.
Massive shame. All to do with poor financial management over the last
Such a big company as well. It's not like they're a small company. Everyone knows Gibson guitars.
The thing is, and we will go on to talk about this a little bit more in detail later on, because I have a point to make that involves this very heavily, but they attribute a lot of their losses in revenue to like the digitalization of music nowadays. As if there aren't any rock bands, as if there aren't any metal bands that would still use a Gibson 6-string guitar if it sounded right for what they were trying to achieve. It's like, no. While I agree that a lot of music is done that way now, it's still, that's not an excuse to like pan your bad financing at the way that music is made in general now. It's like, oh, we don't have a company because things have changed. Well, shit, sure. That's, yeah, okay. So that's something. Really hope it doesn't happen. There's basically experts have said that they're in need of like serious strategy in order to resort their finances. Otherwise, they pretty much are fucked. And the owner of the company, I forget his name, Malcolm something, I think. I can't remember.
I'm not aware.
He's already admitted that if the bankruptcy hits, he will just give up the company straight up. So there'll be no more Gibson.
Massive shame.
Massive shame. Yep, that really sucks. Moving on to the most fucking scandalous piece of news.
Just kept building this week. That is the story of, well, Marilyn Manson. The downfall. Can you really call it downfall after how shit he's been recently?
Well, this is the interesting thing. So we'll start from the beginning of this week's events.
Yeah.
Had basically a fucking I don't give a fuck kind of meltdown in the middle of a New York show in Long Island, I think it was.
Okay.
And yeah, that went down a treat after recent years, and considering that, I mean, a lot of the fans obviously understood it last year when he had to cancel tour dates because he broke his leg.
Yes. Climbing on his own stage props.
Yeah. So obviously people were kind of sympathetic about that, but were still like, okay, well you better put on a fucking damn good show when you come back, because you know we're basically going to.
That's right. This was to make up for that show.
It was, yeah.
Right.
That's the entirety of this tour was to make up for lost dates last year.
Right.
Interestingly enough, the place where he had his meltdown, I don't think it was the same venue. I'm not even sure if it was the same part of New York, but it was the same state. Was the place that he actually broke his leg
Yeah.
the year before. So he's obviously, it's the first time he's played a show in the same state that he broke his leg in.
This is the one you want to make up.
Yeah, this is like the one where you should sort of drive, like you have that driving force behind you to sort of say, like, you know, I'm going to come back with a fucking vengeance. No, the guy has a meltdown on stage, alienates the rest of the band that are up there playing with him, because they don't know what the fuck to do. If you've watched the videos and stuff, they're all just kind of like playing, and then they go to drop in and they're like, oh, okay, he's still talking. They're just going to carry on doing this little thing on the hi-hat and shit, and the rest of the band are all kind of just stood there like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
What are you doing?
So yeah, that must have been like fucking well embarrassing for him, well embarrassing for them.
Well, yeah, completely. So
And
the next day, he posts a review, because he played the show next day in full, and a review from a particular thing, maybe in Blabbermouth or something like that. And they said how great of a show he played, and he decided to post it, to share it, to show how good he is after fucking everyone over the previous night.
Yeah, there was definitely a sense of like,
Look at me, look at what I can do.
yeah, like don't be so quick to judge me. It's like, dude, we're not being so quick to judge you. This happens a lot. This happens way too much.
Happening a meltdown on stage during a live show that people are paid for.
It's
it happens
pathetic.
once,
It's
and it
pathetic.
shouldn't happen.
I mean, I love Five Finger. I've seen them live a couple of times just purely by chance. I've never actually gone out of my way to see them, and they've always put on a really good show. But what the fuck is Ivan Moody playing at? Like,
Yeah, he's done it a few times now. He's back on recovery, but it's now getting to the point where hopefully, let's just see what happens again.
yeah,
Let's get Tommy Vexed in to cover for about half a year while he's in rehab.
yeah. And do you know what I mean? Like, it is happening an awful lot across the board with a lot of bands. It always seems to be the fucking frontman as well. Wes Scantlin, Marilyn
Well, he's a
Manson.
fucking another mess, isn't he?
Well, yeah. that's on a fucking different level. Obviously, since the eventualities of this week, where it's been kind of like a woohoo roller coaster with Manson, House actress, you know the show House?
I do.
House actress Charlene Yee
Yeah.
has come forward and made claims of sexual harassment and racist comments
Yeah.
that he supposedly made over a year ago when he was visiting the set because he's a massive fan of the show.
Right.
I'm not being funny. I kind of agree with Manson on this one. He's basically said, why wait as long as you did, for one thing? Why go to the press instead of the police? Like, you know, if I've done that to you, surely you want to see me behind bars or see me, like, put to justice for it, so...
I mean, one thing I'll jump on there is a lot of women or people overall, they need the confidence to do it. And the second they see something like a meltdown, they go, you know what, I've had enough of this guy. Bam. That's not to say take
That's fair, no, that's true.
take every allegation with a pinch of salt.
I mean, I could sort of gel with that a little bit more if it was a fan saying it, but this is another prestigious woman that comes from a very sort of...
In the
like,
spotlight, in the
yeah.
media.
Do you know what I mean? Like, you would thought that... Maybe, I don't know. But yeah, I can see both sides of it, really. I sort of understand where he's coming from. I also sort of agree with that now that you say it as well.
It's possible, it's just another way of looking at it, but
Very true, very true.
I never, in this day and age, for so many allegations...
No, that was my foot.
Okay.
Just so that you know, one of us is going to be getting up to take a pizza in a minute because I'm fucking starving.
Yeah,
You're
we're going to
probably-
eat during the podcast slightly. I do apologise. Yeah, with the amount of allegations going around, I would never take one as fact and never take one as false. You just got to write it out as
100%.
as an outlooker.
100%.
So that covers. So just to go, a quick question.
Yeah.
So just like a bonus topic. Oh, we treat you guys. The future of Manson. How does it look?
Bleak.
Do you think his ego will let him quit?
Not without going down swinging and probably making a dick out of himself in the
The
process.
thing is, people still book him. He's playing Download as a sub headliner to Ozzy.
Yeah, but I wonder if Andy's looking at, like,
That's
that
the
was
door.
the door.
I'll carry on. So Manson played Download 2009, and it was a fucking state of a gig. The worst thing I've ever seen in my life. It was my first day at my first Download, like the fourth band I saw. It was absolutely awful. And then he got banned from playing Download by Andy copying. He was never having that kind of shit again in his life, right? Well, you say that, but a couple of years later, maybe you think just before 2013 or 2012 Download. Andy Copping went to go see Manson in America. Had Johnny Depp on stage. It was a great show. He was booked to headline second stage. He's done it twice now since, and now he's subbing. If this keeps happening, are we actually going to get to a point where we where anything actually fixes, is it going to go well or not?
I'm not being
You're
funny,
probably
but we
ruining
do
that
not
pizza by holding up the way.
I mean, we do not fuck about.
No.
Like, this is fucking huge.
18 inches.
This might not even fit behind here.
no,
I mean,
there. You figure out, and so that's. It's just kind of worrying how it's going to really go ahead. Hopefully, he sorts his shit out. I don't know.
I do. I don't think he's even at a place where he's going to sort that shit out now. Hey, this is hard to manoeuvre.
I'm sure.
Right? I don't necessarily think he's in a place where that's really much of an option anymore. See, that's fine.
Tasty.
Oh.
We do things by no rules. I'm just going to take a bit here, and then you can take your slice. We'll stick the box in the kitchen. It's your house. You do what you want. As you can see, we've moved positions today. This is actually by chance, but we'll see if the lighting works better. The light is working better. It's actually a really clear screen.
It is, yeah.
And the zooming is okay.
Get the fuck out. I do.
Anyway,
We're so professional.
join us after this short break. So, yeah, it's bleak, but if people keep booking him, he's going to keep on getting his ego.
I mean, I agree. And you know what? If he wants to go down swinging, then fair enough. I just don't see how anything else could possibly happen. Shit.
It's alright, apparently have no live viewers at the minute, so it's fine.
Damn it! Fine. Sorry. It's like... Oh my god.
So hungry.
The main problem with doing a podcast when both of its presenters, we have a viewer, shit. Sorry. I mean, we're not, but, you know.
That's not pizza. That's not pizza.
It would not be metal for us to apologise for pizza. Manson's fucking train wreck.
Yeah.
Moving on. So, our topic of conversation this week is that is not fucking metal.
That's not metal.
Essentially, the concept behind it will be anything ranging from the 80s, the 70s, trap music, hip hop, R&B, all of the rest.
2000s. Oh, no, Jake. Sorry, man. No, sorry.
I'm not feeling
You were a bassist once. Fuck you. You can't say shit.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's not metal.
I love you, man.
As mentioned before, I've mentioned it quite a few weeks. It's stealing the name from the That's Not Metal podcast, because that's what inspired this. Go subscribe for £3 a month or £17 a year at that'snotmetal.net. Plugged.
We are not being sponsored.
No, we're not. I just love them, so they deserve it now and again. Right, so I think we should start off with certain songs. So
Do you know what? I really don't think we should structure this week.
Because gonna roll with it?
We are going to roll with it, because to be honest, this is the kind of topic where we're stepping into the unknown. We may as well do it in an unknown way.
I'm going to go through my songs first.
That is absolutely
We're going to swap
fine.
around, but because I want to go on to my artists in one go. Because there's certain things that are just the odd song here and there, and again, some of these we don't even necessarily like, or we have a reason for why we've liked it at one point. So I'm going to start off with that exact thing. R.I.P. to the Girl You Used to Be by Rita Ora. Fucking tune. Now the reason I say that is because when I went to Pink's Loads, Pink's is a bar in Milton Keynes, for those who do not know, that was a song that was played off and that wasn't fucking dreadful.
You listen to Rita Ora?
Oh, I never listened to it out of Pink's. I once drunkenly requested it at Pink's, and that's more than enough.
More than enough.
So
that's ammo for life.
Rita Ora, it's actually a really good song, to be fair. If you're clubbing and you want to just, it's got its melodics. It's got his singing, like...
Don't try and justify it, bro.
I'm going to justify it, man. I have one guilty pleasure that I actually actively listen to now and again, and that's not this, which we'll get into towards the end of this topic.
I'm looking forward to that.
Okay.
So I'll give you like an example of a song then, because I basically wanted to just sort of go mad with... Yeah, okay, I literally haven't written like one specific song, I just... went into all sorts of different genres and stuff.
Do you want to bust out a few more songs while you go into genres, or...?
I mean, we can make this work, right? So, the first thing on my list is Michael Jackson.
Okay.
Many would argue, king of pop. Absolute king of pop. Like many would
Yeah,
argue.
no,
like,
it's true.
Yeah, might not have been the first,
Even
won't
if
be the
fuck
last,
children.
but fuck me, I mean, and children. He was good.
He did.
Yeah, he was good. He was good.
Oh, you're great.
One thing that I sort of jotted down here is that I am a very big advocate of this statement that there are two generations of King of Pop. Michael Jackson was the first. Bruno Mars is the current. He is a fucking legend.
I have to disagree, man.
That's
Don't like
absolutely
him.
fine.
If Michael
why?
Jackson had variety, Bruno Mars sounds the same. A lot of his songs are very samey, and the lyrics are so uninspired. It's that whole. He's the one that sings that "When I wake up, I want to punch his throat." It's a stupid song, doesn't make sense, and it's uninspired lyrics.
When I wake up, you want to what?
He's got that song like "When I wake up."
The only song I can think of is "When I Wake Up."
No, not that song.
I'm gonna be. That's what I can think of. Which one do you want?
I don't know. The
I
name
just
of it.
want to stay in my bed. Don't think about.
No, that's a different one, I think.
Yeah, but you sang that as well, and that was a good song. He also
No,
sang "That's
that's
What
also
I
a
Like."
shit song.
That's why
I find that just him wanting to talk about staying in bed. In comparison, Michael Jackson had lyrics, man. His stuff meant stuff. I don't find Bruno Mars does. I don't know. I don't see why he's so famous.
Do you know that Bruno Mars is a fucking awesome drummer?
I've heard, never seen.
Absolutely phenomenal. So yeah, I'm a big advocate of that. I firmly believe that Bruno Mars is basically Michael Jackson reincarnated. But you obviously take a very different stance on that.
Yeah, I don't.
And that's fine.
But at least not paedophile.
This is true. That we know of.
That we know of, yeah. So, I'm going to hit you with a nostalgia track. A song
You were going to hit me with the best shot.
with the best shot. A song that's probably my first ever favourite song. And that's "To Become One" by Spice Girls. Yeah, man, what a tune. It's definitely their best track. Again, this is one I do not listen to. I haven't listened to at least a decade. Actually, no, like over 2 decades, maybe. Around 2 decades, when I was a kid. When I was a kid, I got 2 twin brothers, right? And we all had a favourite Spice Girl. It was our thing. Mine was Posh Spice, for all my sins now. Victoria fucking Beckham. She's about a 100th of my weight. But that song, great.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
Have you got a nostalgia track?
Oh, so many. I will continue to maybe talk about them in the, well, talk about him in specific. One nostalgia track that I still listen to so much, like we're talking maybe still even like once every month or two, is Phil Collins and Phil Bailey, Easy Lover. That is a fucking tune. She was an easy lover.
Oh, of course, yeah, man.
It's such a fucking tune. Every time I hear the in the beginning, it just, that's it, my dick is hard. Like,
Wow.
Yeah, wow. So, I will continue to talk about those in a little while though, because Genesis, man. Phil
Okay.
Collins and Genesis, wow. Monumental movement in music, in my opinion. If nothing else, they gave Disturbed one of the best songs in the world to cover, and I think that Disturbed do it so fucking well.
Land of Confusion.
Yeah,
amazing.
tune, man,
Yeah.
absolute tune. But even the original is still like so good, so good. I actually heard the Disturbed version first.
Yeah, same.
I'd listened to Genesis before, and somehow not that song.
Right.
Madness, it's fucking madness. So yeah, I will continue to talk about them maybe in a little while because there is some.
Well, I'm
Go
gonna...
on, surprise me again.
Right, this one is the one that I almost didn't write down. Because it's kind of embarrassing.
What, Spice Girls wasn't?
But it's a nostalgia. I was a kid, man. This song is still really good, as much as I hate the artist, and that is Angels by Robbie Williams.
Oh, no, come on, man. That's not sin-worthy. That's alright.
Yeah, it's Robbie Williams, man.
I mean, yeah, he's dick, but it's
It's a good, fucking good song, though.
it is. And there are loads of decent Robbie Williams songs. There are. I'm sorry, there are. Whether you like them or not is irrelevant, or not irrelevant, it's a matter of opinion. There are songs that he has written that are really fucking good.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Are you looking for pizza?
I was looking for tobacco.
Oh.
I forgot how we were wrong about that. Fair. I'll throw in another song while I've got one. And that is... And I Will Always Love You by Whitney Houston.
No, come
Fucking
on,
tune.
yeah. Gotcha. Whitney.
Absolutely.
Whitney's my girl, babe.
Fair.
I mean, I've got...
She's dead.
Yeah. Thanks for reminding me.
Look at her.
She won't love you. She did.
She did.
Take control.
So, I will continue on with that kind of trend. In the sense of let's have a look. Come on, who have we got? Female vocalists then. So you wouldn't believe with my music taste what kind of trollop that I've come to absolutely adore that I was brought up on.
Okay.
In my household, we went through my parents, I went through the likes of so many different kinds of music, from Crowded House to Oasis to REM to Stereophonics, Maiden. My dad listened to Maiden, Meridian, UB40. So there's like a huge mix there, and one of them that's always stuck out for me that I was really surprised that my dad was a bigger fan of than my mum, Alanis fucking Morissette.
Okay, fair.
Fair, it is fair.
I don't know too much about her, but I know what I've heard. I liked.
Have you ever watched How I Met Your Mother?
Not really. I think it's shit.
Okay, I mean that's fair, because it does get too much after a while, in my opinion. A lot of people don't get the ending of that show, and we won't go into it, but it's really fucking good. Robin, the newscaster girl, like the news reporter girl in the show, the white girl that's not in Buffy. Her character is actually entirely based on Alanis Morissette's life. She was a pop star in Canada, like a pop star, and then went through some like traumatic shit with her boyfriend turned manager or some stuff like that, and then started singing like really twisted kind of stuff about going down on people in the theatre and stuff like that. So she kind of went through this like massive monumental emo like change in front of the spotlight, and did it whilst attaining like mad like just a humongous fan base came to her overnight almost, with like her little change from pop to more rocky sort of stuff. And I think it suits her really well, and I never remember really like it. I don't remember it ever sticking out in my head when I was younger. But nowadays, like I listen to it all, and it brings back so many fucking memories of just being carted around in the car by like my parents and stuff, and going shopping and random stuff like that. Because it was that kind of that level of being a fan that my dad was, that he would actually like take her CDs out in the car with us and stuff like that. And like my dad, for all accounts and purposes, was like a mod when he was younger, like all sort of indie, rocky, Oasis kind of like that kind of stuff was like very much him. And yeah, just to have somebody like Alanis Morissette come out of there and sing bangers like fucking every song on Jagged Little Pill, amazing.
Yeah, fair. Cool.
I like Alanis Morissette.
So, sticking with the female vocalist, I won't go into my full artists, but certain songs by certain people.
Yeah, go
for
for it.
female artists. Okay, so I'm going to list them off. I didn't even know the name of this person until I had to Google it earlier, but Roxette, It Must Have Been Love.
That's a tune.
It is a tune, man. It's such a good song.
That is a tune.
We also have Sinead O'Connor, Nothing Compares to You. Absolutely amazing track. What do you mean what? It's so good.
So brilliant. Just
Nothing compares to you. So good.
I mean, yeah, that's a tune.
I don't know if I wrote it down, but Celine Dion. Right, my heart will go on's pretty good. But
No, it's not.
It's alright.
No, it's not.
I like it. I wouldn't ever like. I like it. I had her album when I was a child.
If you're ever getting married, I'm going to make sure that shit's playing while you're walking down the aisle with the beer around your head.
Excellent. So I can't remember the name of the other track, but it's pretty
I'll
good
be
as
waiting
well.
for you at the top.
The first album I ever bought is actually by two females who are fake lesbians. Tattoo.
Oh, God, yeah.
All the things she said. Now that song, fucking amazing. I don't care. It's such a good song. I still listen to it.
Is
now
it
and
a
again.
good song, or
It's
is
great.
it a video? Is it a
No, the
good
song's
video?
great. I bought
Really?
the album for the song. I didn't buy the album for the video.
Because the song is basically on repeat. The whole thing. The whole thing is just so samey and drony. It's exactly everything that you dislike in an album, in other artists' songs. Oh yeah, it all sounds the same. Like it's exactly the thing that you
You
should.
can't say the song sounds all the same. It's a song.
Yeah, but it
If
does.
they gave me an album of that many songs just the same, then I'll be like, yeah, that album sucks. But I bought the album for that song.
So you didn't even really listen to any of them?
No, I literally remember, I only remember one of the track names.
Why didn't you just buy the single?
I was like 13.
You want to see some guts, man?
Oh, fucking, I love like listening to fucking gas droppings on fucking CD disc. Hi Xander, how's it going? Sorry.
Oh.
So Tattoo, no, great song.
Yeah, to be
all the
fair,
things
that's
you
like
said.
monumental in my childhood for obvious reasons.
I'm not going to go on to that one now because that's a man and a woman. Now, yeah, I think that's all for my just female artists for singular songs. I'll get to the artists.
Like-
Just female songs, sorry.
Yeah, no worries.
What smoking rules again? I forgot. Okay, your mum can watch it any time.
Oh yeah. Shit.
Take over for a sec. Do a swap.
Nah,
Nah?
we'll be alright. There's an ashtray on top of the speaker.
Okay.
You
We're
do
in a
that.
different location. It's very impromptu today.
Yeah, I mean, like, to be fair, in case you couldn't tell, we're
Our
basically...
Untold Story, Xander's
Yeah,
band.
sad,
The
dude.
first ever band reviewed on this page.
Amazing.
I believe.
Was it not that band in Leighton Buzzard?
No.
Okay. So I mean, I've like I said, I've sort of gone through more like topical sort of things to talk about, like just things that I thought would surprise you. On top of the speaker over there, and next to the guitar. Yes, yeah, things that I thought would like surprise you. Like I love a lot of swing and jazz music.
Yeah, great.
I love a lot of like jukeboxy 50s kind of swingy jazz music.
Oh, cheers, man. You spelled my name wrong, but thank you.
Let's go right back to all the way back to the 60s.
Okay.
The Beatles. Man. What is your standing on the Beatles? Honestly, just pure 100%. Like, if I said, "What do you think about the Beatles right now?" Your response is,
I don't care for them personally. I know a few tracks which I like. I respect them fucking loads and appreciate what they've done for our industry. Music as a whole, not necessarily rock. Kiara, get the... I'll give you a told story.
okay. So, you at least agree with the notion that it's thank you. You at least agree with the notion that without them, music as we know it would not sound the way it does
entirely.
at all. And for me, I think realistically that they probably have more of an impression through Roots anyway. They probably have had more of an impression on the way that R&B and like soul music and stuff sounds these days than necessarily rock even, because rock has evolved on its own. Like soul-y sort of funky, kind of out there trippy kind of funky music I'm talking about, like psychedelic funk and stuff, wouldn't be the same without bands like them and without Pink
Sounds like you
Floyd.
guys are having a hard day's night.
I don't get it.
It's a Beatles song.
Is it? Okay.
Fucking hell, Rob. You're the Beatles guy here.
I'm not the Beatles guy though, am I? Let's
You
be
brought
honest.
him up.
I like Strawberry Fields Forever. Abbey Road is pretty fucking damn good at them. So yeah, I thought that they would definitely had to be worth a mention, really, because they're not metal,
They're not all rock.
but they are responsible for virtually everything that we know. To a degree, anyway. To a degree.
They put their part in it, yeah. Not as vital as Sabbath, of course, but...
Well, no, definitely not. Like, that was, like, our specific genre defining, whereas Beatles kind of had its thing on... I think it had its thing on the way that we treat celebrities as a whole, really, because they were the first, like, major...
Idolised.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, majorly... Like, people still, to this day, will tell you that there was, like, a government fucking... like mind control drug or some shit that was dished out for the entirety of the fucking like English and American public that just made that band the people to watch kind of thing. Like it was almost that level where people that were even part of it still don't understand it.
I'm going to keep you on the same kind of time frame. That's something I haven't written down, but it popped into my mind when you mentioned how your parents played Alanis Morissette.
Yeah.
My mum plays a lot, or still plays a lot of Roy Orbison.
Okay.
Right, very
Interesting.
respected artist.
Very
Around,
interesting.
it's same kind of genre, not as trippy, nowhere near as trippy, but it's guitar and drums, it's rock, but it's in the pop eyes at the time. But there's a few songs I can't remember. Obviously, there's Pretty Woman, walking down the street, fucking tune.
That is a
There are other ones that I actually prefer to that, but I can't remember the names of them.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, that in itself is exactly the type of shit that I'm on about. Like, that's what I was really trying my best to think about today, was that, like, you want that kind of, like, you want to talk about those kind of monumental artists that, even if you only know, like, a handful of songs, they're those songs that sort of, like, you attribute to growing up with music. Kind of thing. Like, that is what, like, bands like Oasis and stuff, even through no choice of my own, have ended up being to me. I can't listen to an Oasis song without thinking about my childhood, basically, because they were just there throughout the whole fucking thing. And artists like him as well, and I was literally just about to say somebody else. Like, the minute you said, like, that song in particular, I was like, oh shit, and it brought another song into my head, and that's going to drive me fucking nuts. Never mind. Moving on. Please give me something else to take my mind off of what...
Coming from the back straight to the front of this current time. I thought I was going to the camera there, but the camera's there. Nailed it. Imagine Dragons. I went to look at that and remembered. Imagine Dragons. They're a very current band. They've got rock aspects to them, but they're not a rock band.
Yeah.
Radioactive. Their most known song, very good, but also Monster. It's a great track.
Yeah.
Now, for any people that eventually watch this, WWE fans, it was used for a promo for WrestleMania 30 for Daniel Bryan versus Triple H, and that's the first time I heard that song. And for wrestling fans, sometimes the song makes the promo. And quick little plug: WrestleMania 33, Triple H versus Roman Reigns, held to the Kingdom of Fall, bang. And this Monster song by not Radioactive, by Imagine Dragons, really fucking good. I mean, I don't have much more to say than that, but they are a band that are close to our genre, but also very far away.
Like other bands that I had that are still classed as rock somehow, but I feel exactly the same about, are bands like Alt J. Alt J are technically a rock band. They have one song that I think is fucking incredible, and that is Left Hand Free. You should listen to that song. It's so fucking good. Going back to Imagine Dragons though, if they're the only two songs that you've had like a great deal of exposure to, Believer is a tune.
Okay.
You'll recognise that if like you've been around the radio at all in the past like year and a half or so, or however long it's been out for.
Excellent.
And it's there's not much substance to the song, but it's one of those that like just literally sticks in your head like no tomorrow. And I love that. They've also had a newer one called Thunder, which the first time I heard it, I wanted to say Bumder, like, because that is basically what I thought of the band.
Okay,
like,
fair.
What a bunch of bunders for singing a song like this. Is so repetitive and, again, had no substance to it. And it didn't have that catchy aspect, so it literally had nothing for me. And then I found myself, like, humming the hook every now and then I listened to it again, and now I love it. So I agree, they're a band that are actually a very good mention.
Now, before you move on, just quickly, I was actually going to mention this before they commented.
Yeah.
And that is the boys in Our Untold Story. Their first album, especially Hell House as well, has got that old school rock feel to it. Similar to... It's close to... You can tell that maybe Beatles or around that kind of genre had an influence. It's not screaming, it's singing, and it's Xander Turian, he's the lead singer. I'm not sure if you know him through Craig.
I've met him through originally Jess Rockton. Shout out to Jess Rockton wherever you are.
Heard that name in a while, yeah. They've got a new album coming out soon, so a little plug for you guys for free.
Excellent.
As I said, they were the first band reviewed on here for that first album of theirs, which I think was self-titled. You can check that out in the notes when back in the day when I used to write reviews rather than sit here in front of a camera. And
this is more fun though, right?
Yeah, definitely. Plus you weren't there before, what would I do? So check out the new album. If you can see this comment, then if you're live now watching, post it in the comments and then a link. But the new album will be out this year, I believe.
Sick.
Back on.
Yeah, so that covers a lot of things. There is one on there that I know you're not going to want to talk about, but I'm going to. In fact, we'll do that now. Because while we're still sort of on the modern ting.
Yeah, I've got one more modern artist as well, before I hit the artist.
So, well, this is an artist,
that's fine.
but we're also going to talk about a movement at the same time.
Alright, sweet.
And Craig Glenister? Is that his name?
Yeah, from Big Down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He will appreciate this because if his comment was serious, I don't know.
It was serious.
Post Malone.
Okay.
And the trap movement.
The trap movement, is that the genre?
That is the subgenre that this apparently all falls into, and that's other artists like Gucci Mane,
That's a horrible name.
It is a horrible, horrible name.
Is he a good artist?
No.
Okay, so you're saying Post Malone you like, but you don't like the movement?
Essentially, yes.
Okay, fair.
Something about Post Malone, even though, like, originally I was just like, nope, he's just another trap faggot.
We respect everyone's choice of sexuality. Continue. I respect every choice.
I do, no, that's... You said that, right,
It was his last podcast, he called someone else a faggot.
Oh, okay, sorry. He's a raving motherfucking... No, originally he just fell into the same sort of thing as the rest of the genre, for me. And then it got to the point where I heard more of his songs, and I would hate myself for it, but I found myself thinking, like, actually, that's really catchy.
Okay.
And I started listening to a few more, and they were alright. I've also tried listening to a lot of others, and they are not. So he is very much that kind of, like... There are a few songs that I could probably pick out of one or two of his albums. Most of the ones that people really love, like Congratulations was like a massive single. I hate that song. The newest one is I'm a fucking rock star. I hate that song.
Isn't there like so many songs that just sound exactly like that now?
Yeah, that's what I mean. That is the trap movement.
Right, okay.
So
yeah.
the trap movement, I can't remember what state it came out of, and it was always under dispute with who really started it. Between Young Jeezy, T.I., Gucci Mane, like there were a few other artists that were sort of held in similar sort of like pioneering standards for the movement, but they've since started having like infighting and shit like that over like who is the king of trap kind of thing. It's all stupid.
People not listening to it are probably the kings of trap.
It's all shit, pretty much. I make an exception for T.I. because some of his songs are really good. I can't remember the name of... Yeah, I can't remember the name of this particular song. I'll post it in the comments later, but it's all about the whole Black Lives Matter. Now, bearing in mind that this is a black rapper, he's actually one of them who's sort of saying, like, well, why are we saying Black Lives Matter like white lives then don't, kind of thing. Like, and he wrote a song about it. And it went down very badly to some people and very well to other people, and he got a lot of backlash and a lot of mad props at the same time, and I just have a lot of respect for him for being one of those people that
I'm
can
not going to go too far into the Black Lives Matter thing, but isn't that... I see why the Black Lives Matter thing exists.
I do.
They're not saying it as if white people don't matter.
No, me
They're
either,
saying it
but...
because black people are the main people being killed by cops at the moment.
I think which is 100% true, and that is what they should address. Like, it's not about like whose lives matter, all lives matter, because if it started then therefore happening to a lot of white guys, we'd feel inclined to have uproar about that as well. Me and you, as two individuals, would feel just as much hatred towards a copper that shot a white guy point blank in the face for no reason as they would a black guy, or a Chinese guy, or like, you know, and that's basically the message behind the song. It's not like, oh, well, we shouldn't do Black Lives Matter. It should just be like, well, why aren't we all just saying our lives matter, kind of thing.
Yeah, it's fair, but
do you know what I mean? Like,
you've
it's
got
not
to look at the audience of what's happening at its current time.
Yeah, 100%. It's just like I said, the prevailing point behind it is that if it therefore switched to like suddenly Chinese or Japanese guys were getting like gunned down in the streets of America all the time, like, would that change anything? Would we then think like, oh well, okay, like Black Lives Matter again, yay, and that be done with it? No, we'd still have an issue, kind of thing. It's like, that's not the issue to single one race out, because effectively that's counterproductive to what you're saying in the first place. Mm-hmm. You're sort of saying like, don't single us out and shoot us down because we're black, and it's like, well, okay, don't make a movement about protecting yourselves because you're black. Just say everyone's lives matter. That's the message behind the song. And I have a lot of respect for an artist that can actually get up in front of his own fan base, which is probably largely going to be like, fuck you, bro, to him making a statement like that, and him carry it out so fucking well.
Yeah, moving away from the subject, but I can see why it went down badly as well.
Yeah, there is definitely two sides to the coin. I just, like I said, I had a lot of respect for that, because I thought, like, you know, a large portion of like a rapper's fan base is probably going to be, well, no, is going to be the type of people that would like protest for Black Lives Matter and stuff like that. Yeah. So for him to basically alienate his fan base and potentially, like, do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, if that's what he firmly believes in and he took a stand to do it, and it sort of may have potentially come at a massive cost for him, I think that deserves a nod at least.
Yeah, it's fair. Right, I've got 2 more singles before I go into Ice, actually.
Yeah.
And staying with rap, this is a song by 2 people. It's male and female. The female I absolutely fucking despise. The male I dislike, which is a controversial opinion, even for a non-rap fan. But I fully respect and appreciate what he's doing. I don't appreciate it, I respect him, and I can see why he's so big. Eminem and Rihanna. Love the way you lie.
Did you just say that you despise Rihanna?
Yeah, I hate her.
Why?
Because her music's trash. It's literally, she's built her career on. Maybe she's improved recently. I don't listen to that shite, but she started off just using cheap. Well, it's not cheap tactics because it works and it made her money. So cheap is probably the worst word, but using repeating things that get stuck in your head, like umbrella, Ella, Ella, or shut up and drive, drive, drive. It gets in your head and it sells, which is fine. I don't have to like it. I think she's awful.
It underlines the problem nowadays with a lot of music is that people are just doing it for money. There's no passion and shit.
And they probably paid about 30 writers to write that.
Yeah, most likely.
I saw something about
one for every Ella.
Pretty much, they're all called Ella, actually. Yeah. There's an extensive fucking hiring process. But no, that song is fantastic. Both of them are great on it.
Okay,
that's voices fair. Complement each other as well.
There's like a mad contrast between them, isn't there? Like you've got her like really nice melodic, soft vocals, and then him just coming in with like the gruff, like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree. In fact, we could talk about Eminem for a little bit because he's fucking monumental. Like, he's another artist that's been through the worst and the best all at once. And while I don't really listen or appreciate much of his music nowadays, his newest album is actually worth a listen. It's like a definite milestone after like how sort of shaky his career's been over the last sort of like 5 to 10 years or so, especially.
Okay.
It's a really monumental step forward, I feel like.
Fair.
It might not sell you, but it is like
I'm not big step. No.
But I think he deserves, again, like a nod of recognition, at least, because, yeah, fuck me, the guy's done so much for his genre.
Yeah.
And that's fair.
Throwing on to my last track before I hit artists. Obviously, you've got a few more, obviously quite a few more as well.
I've got loads, yeah.
Yep, so this is the closest one to rock, apart from one of the artists later on, and that is Wherever You May Go by The Calling. This is an amazing song.
Oh, do you know what it is? And he's got a good voice.
He really does. But I think Crow went no. Well, he was a one-hit wonder, wasn't it?
Yeah, massively. They did have one other song that like went down okay and like had a brief moment in like not the spotlight but in like the public eye before them as a band just disappeared off the face of the earth. Mm-hmm. I can't remember what it's called. Again, I'll find it and I'll comment it. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
No,
I think so. I mean, I've got a few ones on here that will probably be like relatively embarrassing. But I do have a lot that will come quite close. Well, that are rock, but not metal. So
that's not metal.
That's not metal. It's rock. So ones that will probably make you laugh and surprise you a little bit more. Wham, and specifically George Michael and all of his accomplishments. Mate, I'm sorry, but George Michael was a legend. Moving swiftly on.
I'm trying to think of songs that I actually like by him. Faith was great.
Yeah. You gotta love like a few Wham songs as well. Wake Me Up Before You Fucking
Oh
Die,
yeah, that's anyway, that's Wham.
Tune,
I probably knew
man.
it was Wham deep down, but
George Michael's songs specifically though. I mean, even the Christmas ones, like Wham have obviously done like a massive fucking Christmas song. George Michael actually did one on his own that doesn't get enough recognition. It gets played a lot because it's Christmas and it's a Christmas song, but most people don't actually know it's him. And it's the one that has like Dream of Christmas or something like that is what it's called. And it's the one that in the middle has like, I guess the Mormons had decided that the war would have to wait or something like that. And it's like a really soft and just like you can imagine when you're 60 and you've got like your grandkids and your kids and stuff and your massive family are there, it's the kind of Christmas song that you would sort of be just sat in front of the fire in your rocking chair kind of listening to and appreciating when you're like 60.
I'm probably the worst person to talk to about Christmas music because I despise Christmas and all its music.
I mean, I'm not a massive fan of... I used to love the season of Christmas. It's the last few Christmases that
Retail.
Just, yeah,
Retail
and just bullshit of life in general. But yeah, the last few Christmases for me have kind of put me more in that mind frame where it's like, if I listen to another Christmas song, I'm going to blow somebody's fucking brains out of their ears. Like,
when it's a month or a month and a half of the same 20 songs
exactly.
every 8-hour shift, 5 days a week, yes,
it makes you want to
I
kill
will not
someone.
enjoy Christmas until I have kids.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, I think it's probably going to be that way for me nowadays, but I did used to love it. So we'll move on from them and into some slightly more rock orientated. Sting and the Police.
Okay.
No? Not a mad fan?
No.
Roxanne, you don't have to put on your red light.
That does exist.
It does.
Yeah.
Every step
Message
I
in a
take.
bottle.
Yeah, exactly.
Every step I take.
Yeah. That's Sting and the Police.
Wait, sing it. Well, don't sing it, but how's it going? Never breath on. I like to know them.
Yeah, they sang the original. Oh, can't you see you belong to me? I'm a poor artist. That's them.
Not aware. Fair enough.
Other Sting and the Police songs that you need to be aware of. Sting did obviously his solo career as well. You must have watched I think it's a Pixar film, Emperor's New Groove.
We spoke about this last week, I think. You quoted it. And
Yeah.
you just walked off when you didn't realise I don't care for it or haven't seen it. Maybe seen it once. You don't walk off again, man.
You've had a week, man.
I've had a week. So, on my first artist, to be fair, grab me one, please.
Yeah.
It's similar. It's country. No, it's country. You can't really call it country. It's its own thing. It's Johnny Cash. It's fucking Johnny Cash.
Yes.
Right. Okay. So Johnny Cash is an absolute legend. You should know this. If you don't, go and educate yourselves right now.
Legit.
His Ring of Fire is known as his biggest song. That's no doubt about that. There's some great songs that he's done, but my personal favourite is actually a cover of Nine Inch Nails or Trent Reznor. Thank you very much. And that is the song Hurt.
See, I always thought it was the other way around.
Yeah,
and then
so did I.
you pointed this out, and I was like, "What?
Yeah.
What the?"
And
fuck?
Trent Reznor has even said, "We wrote the song, Johnny Cash made it," and I think that's entirely apt.
Oh wow! Yeah, man.
Johnny Cash, his version of Hurt, the music video, it's all very, very intense. And I think it was the last music video he did, or it was just before his wife died. His wife's in the music video, and they're really old. And everything's like fading around, and they're like in an abandoned, fucked up place. And the lyrics are like along the lines of, oh fuck it, forget now. But it's about him dying and his mountain of ash or something. There's a lyric similar to that. But fuck me.
Shit.
Yeah. Thoughts on Johnny Cash?
Love him. Absolutely fucking adore his music, man. Ring of Fire is like a monumental song though. I've known that song for as long as I've had memories. Like pretty much, like. So.
Yeah, fully Johnny Cash.
Frank Sinatra. Seeing as we're on a similar sort of like heavy male vocalist, sort of like, what do you think to Frank Sinatra, Jr. specifically? No. What the fuck?
I don't know much, to be fair.
That's life.
That's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
That's what all the people say. That's a tune, man. That's not pretty cool. I dropped jalapeno. Yeah.
Yeah. Any more strong male vocalists like that?
Let's have a look. Yes. Okay. Strong male vocalist. My favourite male vocalist.
Of any genre?
All right.
For people that couldn't hear that, that was of any genre.
Right. This is a hard one for me to sort of explain.
Okay.
I'm gonna say yes,
Oh wow. Okay.
but there are like other voices that I like at least equally to this, but everything about him as a person, everything that I adored while I was growing up listening to his music or their music, Freddie Mercury, man.
Oh, of course. How did I not think of Queen?
Freddie fucking Mercury and Queen are probably the biggest reason that I've stuck it out listening to rock.
Yeah, okay.
When I was younger, a lot of my friends were the type of people that ended up gravitating to hip hop and shit like that. And there was a time when I sort of went through a phase like that as well. And like, obviously, like I listen to things like Post Malone nowadays, and I'm not like completely disgusted from the off because I've had roots in like hip hop and stuff. Queen were at a time. Queen were the only guilty pleasure of a rock band that I listened to when I was at
Guilty pleasure.
Yeah, when I was at my chavviest sort of stage,
Okay.
they were the only rock band that I would listen to still. And I would just not be vocal about it.
For any international fans that are watching this, chaviness or chav is another way of saying gangster. Listen to rap.
Not
mainly
even
a
gangster,
cunt.
just a prick, yeah.
No, Queen are fucking fantastic. Freddie Mercury can't be imitated. I almost, Summer's Fair a couple of years back, was excited to see Queen with Adam Lambert. I still would if they played a festival because I would love to see the band Queen, but it's just not the same.
No.
He died the year I was born, 91, I think. Yeah, he did. So never even got a chance to even pretend to see him live.
I just look at the concert that he did for Band Aid or Live 8, whichever one it was. I know they're essentially the same thing, but like that monumental performance.
Was it the one in Milton Keynes Bowl, or was it somewhere else?
I'm pretty sure it's somewhere else. I think it was.
Because he did play Milton Keynes Bowl.
Did they really?
Yeah.
When?
I'm guessing in the 80s.
Didn't even know the bowl was constructed in the 80s.
Yeah, man.
Wow. Mad.
Yeah.
No, they played like a show to about 100,000 people for like a massive charity event. I'm pretty sure it was Live 8 or Band Aid or whatever.
Yeah.
They fucking smashed it. They smashed it out of the park. He was in his element.
Yeah.
Like, you watch the videos back and I would do anything to be at that show.
Yeah, it must have been intense. The crowd atmosphere must have been crazy.
It's the show that, like, the most famous part is when he's going, hey, 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 and literally, like, the crowd is just as loud, like, screaming back at him.
Word or note.
And he's, like, just crying with, like, joy and stuff, while he's just shouting at the crowd and they're shouting back. Amazing.
Sick.
We've already mentioned Phil Collins, so I won't go into too much more about that.
While you look into that, I'm going to throw out a few dance-related bands. That
okay, yeah.
are,
Let's do that.
These two, I've only thought of them now, are highly recognised and highly liked in the metal and rock industry. The Prodigy and Pendulum.
Yeah,
Got to give a shout out because they're not
100%.
part of rock and metal, but they are fully part of that crowd. I'm sure a lot of their gigs are actually attended by rock bands.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
And they always smash download.
Why do you think that is, though? What do you think it is about the Prodigy, especially, that is just
The
attractive
Prodigy,
to rockers?
there's that aggression in Prodigy.
What about Pendulum then? Because they don't have that. They just.
I think their live shows are a lot more rocky than the rest of them.
I mean, I've seen Pendulum live, and they do they use instruments and stuff like to play a large portion of
I mean,
it.
even
which is
Chase
fair
and
enough.
Status played Download. I didn't watch them because I have balls and went to see Slash.
Yeah, that was 09, wasn't it? Chase
No.
and Status.
That was 12, I think, 2012.
Really? That's so fucking weird, man. Like Pendulum, fully understand. Prodigy, even more so. Fucking Chase and Status.
Sub-headlining
What?
the main stage with Prodigy.
Wow. I guess I can kind of understand it. Are you trying to get in on this, cat?
Was it?
Buzzer!
So yeah, that's a quick shout out to Dance Man.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, I literally just put one of my bullet points on there was House Every Weekend because, yeah, I wanted to talk about some, like, sort of techno dubsteppy, not the normal sort of, like, wah 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 wah, but, like... Fuck me, I forgot that song existed.
Every time I phone someone, pretty much, that's what gets in my head.
Brilliant.
So, in a complete change, I'm going to go to my first artist and have a little chat about. And this man is a legend.
Okay.
This man is Barry White.
This man is a legend.
This man
is a legend.
Barry White is the king of his genre. What do you call it? Soul?
Soul, funk, like, yeah.
Not Motown, no, but yeah, soul.
Yeah.
Now, I remember the day I found out he died. I was very upset. This
Naturally.
is about 5 or 10 years after he died.
Naturally.
So I found out in like 2014 that he died in 2004, for example. And I was like, oh, Barry White's dead. That sucks. I was hoping to see him at one point. Yeah, he died in 2004. Right. Oh, right. But no, Barry White's a fucking brilliant dude. Like, such a powerful voice.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
You're the first, my last, my everything. Absolutely insane. Great song.
Who else you got?
What for my artists?
Well, start listing some others off.
Well, I've only got like a few more, but I'm going to throw out... how many more you got?
I think we've actually crossed most of mine in one way or another. So we've spoken about Michael Jackson. U2. U2 are a band that I have always... That's really weird that that's just done that.
Yeah.
So, U2 are a band that I've always sort of had mad respect for because they never really stray from their original sound, yet they still managed to bore the fuck out of me.
I
there are
like two
some.
songs.
Yeah, go on.
Vertigo is quite a song I like. That was one of the last few songs I got into. I think maybe it's a little bit before I got into my rock and metal. Mm-hmm. But Beautiful Day is a beautiful song.
Yeah.
Another thing I found through wrestling was in a promo for Triple H's injury, and it was perfect. It was great. Back in 2001, I think it was.
So other ones that I really love. Anybody that's watched Friends has an immediate love for With or Without You. Has an immediate love because that is the anthem of Beautiful Things of Ross and Rachel, and Friends is Bay for Life. Sweetest Thing as well. Sweetest Thing is a fucking absolute. The sweetest thing. Nice. So yeah, that's definitely worth a mention. The other one is She Moves in Mysterious Ways, I think it's called. You'd recognise it if you heard it.
I just thought of something. Sorry, go ahead.
But yeah, love that.
I'm going to throw in a quick track before I forget it.
Uh-huh.
Keen. I can't remember the name of the track. Somewhere
Only We Know.
What a fucking song.
Yeah, it's alright.
Nah, amazing.
It's alright.
Really good.
I used to like Keen a bit, but they're just too boring for me.
Yeah, I wouldn't listen to them. That's one song. Really liked it.
Bed Shaped is good as well. Bed Shaped is a good song by them.
Going to throw in my only guilty pleasure, which means some of these are like they're in the past kind of thing.
Before we change that then, because Keen are feasibly classically like an indie sort of band.
Okay.
Ish. They're a bit too miserable to be like straight up indie. But in the interest of keeping things moderately indie, The Kooks.
Name a song.
Naive.
No, no song.
She Moves in Her Own Way.
Oh, was that then, was it?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's a good song.
I love her because she moves in her... That's going to be stuck in my head now.
Oh. Wait till we review MCR. Yeah, no, that's fair.
Yeah, so, yeah. What were you going to say?
Guilty pleasure.
Yeah.
So, as I mentioned, these are songs that I've mentioned songs that I don't really listen to,
Uh-huh.
but I like if they're on, kind of thing. I won't turn it off.
Yeah.
They won't be on my playlist anyway. The only guilty pleasure which I now listen to now and again is Toxic by Britney Spears, and that fucking song is fantastic. Granted, when I was younger, it first came out, I was into pop still, and the music video is fantastic.
Why? Because she's in tight leathers and her tits are half out.
Well, yeah, you have the thing where she basically looks naked, and then you have her with the red hair and the black hair. She looks great on the motorcycle with the red hair. She just really looked good. It's before she went bald, don't forget, so I still have that image in my head. I didn't get into the song afterwards, it was before, okay? But no, Toxic great. Don't give a fuck, it's really catchy, really good song.
Leave Britney alone.
Leave Britney alone. And that leaves with just two more.
Wow, okay. You may as well list those off because I'm pretty much done.
Okay, so we have another one which is just a one-hit wonder, but it's so good, and the guitar solo at the end is brilliant, and that's Natalie Imbruglia with Torn.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah,
that is the fucking anthem of my childhood. I remember being pushed around in a fucking buggy while that song was on.
Yeah, damn right. It's fucking so good. Her voice is brilliant, it opens up well, the whole song's good, and then the guitar solo at the end.
Lyrically, it's written so well as well.
Lying on the flower.
Yeah.
You've heard us sing a lot today. We should charge you. Maybe the original, you should charge us for putting that poison on you. That leaves the best non-rock and metal artist. And that is the goddess. That is Shania fucking Twain. I love that woman. I went to see her live last year. I endured other things like James Blunt, Emily Sandé, who wasn't actually too bad.
Emil Sandé.
Emily Sandé.
It's Emil.
But she's a woman.
Yeah, I know, but it's Emil Sandé.
More on this investigation later. Shania Twain's fucking brilliant. I loved her as a child. I kind of stopped listening to her for a few years because I got into metal and forgot about her. Then, bam, bam, ba-da-da-dum, bam. Let's go, girls. That came on at some point and I've just reignited my love for Shania Twain. Excellent. There's loads of songs I could list off, but the top 4 have to be Man, I Feel Like a Woman. You Don't Impress. This Don't Impress.
That don't impress me much.
Fucking #1 fan here. And for the slower ones that may be even better, You're Still the One.
Mate, that is a tune.
And From This Moment.
That is a tune, man.
Fucking great songs. She mixes a great... She's country, but she's also pop. She's like the biggest selling female country artist of all time, I read. Now, that sounds weird because Dolly Parton exists, and I don't believe that Shania outsold that, but you never know. But maybe because Shania's more pop than... Well, she's more country than pop, but
she appeals to more crowds than just the country crowd.
Yeah, that's perfectly said.
But if they're gonna generalise her as a country artist, then yeah, I can imagine it.
Yeah,
I can imagine she outsold Dolly Parton, was it?
Yeah,
I can imagine that she outsold her overall. Do I think that the majority of Shania Twain's sales would therefore be country fans? No, probably not. Whereas all of Dolly Parton's would be.
Yeah, true. But she's fantastic.
Cool.
Still pretty fucking fit at 52 years old, whatever she is.
Yeah, arguable.
Give it a go.
Fair enough.
And she's gone through some shit in her life as well. Her vocal cords fucked up.
Yeah.
And she stopped singing for years.
Same thing happened to Florence and the Machine.
Yeah.
And I think she's fucking brilliant.
I can't connect with that as much, but it's still admirable that they go through with it. She's also had shit with her husband. Her husband left and slept with someone else.
I was
and then she ended up
have multiple affairs.
I'm not sure it was multiple, but definitely one. And the woman that
what a motherfucker.
The woman her husband cheated on her with a woman. The woman he cheated on her with cheated on her husband, so it's a double cheat. Funny little story. Shania is now married to the husband of the wife that cheated with her husband. That make sense?
No.
Shania, husband. They slept with each other. Now they're together.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that makes sense.
There you go. Fingers sorted out. So that tops off. That's not metal.
Well, near enough. I just wanted to sort of... Because one thing that I did immediately think of to myself is a lot of people that I thought... Basically, the thought came from this idea that it's good that we're doing this because it shows that we're not, glued, essentially, to our...
We're open-minded in a way.
Yeah, we're open-minded enough that we can appreciate other stuff. We just might not choose to listen to it very much.
Yeah, enough for a whole episode.
Yeah.
This is a one-off, to be fair.
And it was thoughts like that made me start thinking, what is it that actually drives people to sort of be, dead against digital music if they're so, die-hard instrumentalists and stuff? And I basically, I had to put it down into a point, really, because my brain started having a rant with itself. And I just thought, die-hard instrumentalists and musicians attribute a clouded music scene to, the digitalisation of music, when, actual fact, I think back over the 80s and the 70s, and I think, pretty much it was the norm at that point to have, digital music and stuff like Hall & Oates and fucking, loads of the 80s bands like fucking Duran Duran and stuff like that. They have bands, they have, band members and stuff, but a large portion of their sound was digitally created. So that's not the issue. The issue is that, like you were saying earlier, and this is why I wanted to touch up on it even more so when you said about Rihanna, is that she is a prime example of an artist that you can tell is pretty much doing it for the money kind of thing. Mm-hmm. There's just no passion in it anymore. I had to put it down into a thought because I thought of this bit, but I just basically said like digitalization was part and parcel of being an artist back in the 70s and 80s, for example. So the problem has never been the method in which music is made. It's just simply put, there was much more passion, many more drugs, and much more hair back then. That it meant a lot more than it does nowadays, I feel like. So when I listen to like the 70s and the 80s and stuff, like I just get like a nice warm feeling. It's just, that's like real music kind of thing. And like,
but when you, on the other end of the spectrum, when you talk about digital music back then, it had passion, it had feeling.
yeah.
Now, if you talk about simply electronical stuff, dubstep, I'm not talking bands like Modestep, for example, their first...
But it's not the fact that
ever
it's
show-
digitally made that it's the problem, it's the fact that they make it digitally with no passion. It would shine
Yeah.
through if they used instruments and had no
See,
passion as well.
Modestep's, like, they're not metal or rock at all, but their first ever show was a download. I was there for it. They're actually a really good band live. I probably don't listen to them at all on CD or disc or whatever. But really good live again. But with these, like, when talk about dubstep, it's just people mixing. I get that mixing is an art, but it's just... This is personal opinion coming into it. I just can't enjoy it. You know, I'm not going to go, because I can go on for about another hour about why I don't like dubstep and how it's not the same. People disagree. I've had this conversation with people in the past. But no, has that covered...
That has covered a nice portion of it for me, and that was why I felt like I should sort of bullet point that last sort of comprehending thought of mine, is because that basically encompasses the difference between music back then and now for me. And like a lot of it, obviously, like back then there wasn't a lot of metal and stuff that I sort of could think about, and there was an awful lot of stuff that wasn't metal that I could, and it still has like the same sort of, yeah. I don't know why I used one of your papers. I have my own. I realised that I reached across and I had a read.
Excellent.
Amazing stuff. Yeah, that's kind of
So
sent my
you're-
brain into like overdrive a little bit now, because I'm thinking like, oh, there's so much. There's just so much.
There is, yeah.
More
Now-
than you'd sort of think.
Yeah, well, I wrote out like 6 things.
This is the most
today.
I've written for a podcast. We've
I
got a
like-
metal podcast, and this is the most I've written.
That's because we need to really research this one, where we can go for it in the other ones. Anywho, yeah, I wrote out like 6 and came out with like 15. But
Brilliant.
a lot of those were just songs.
Brilliant,
But
brilliant.
moving back to metal or subgenres of it,
We are reviewing.
The Black Parade by My Chemical Romance.
I mean, that's not metal, but sure.
I mean, it falls into rock and metal. It's close to rock and metal, of course.
Yes.
But it's emo as much as
Emo
Jared Way
punk
hates
shit.
that. It's alternative, he likes to call it.
No.
So, not every album have we gone into every song, but while writing this out, while listening to the album, it's really got my love for it, because when it came out, I was 16, I was in school.
Yeah.
My 2 closest friends in school were Corin and Cheryl, 2 very big emos at the time. And they were, while I was away obsessing over Ren Sevenfold and getting them slightly into it, they were obsessing over MCR.
Okay. I knew plenty of friends that did exactly the same thing.
Yeah. So we're going to go track by track, skipping Welcome to the Black Parade and finishing with that song.
Okay.
So track 1, The End.
What a fucking awesome way to open an album.
It is, really
And
good
it's,
song.
I just, before we get into this anymore, it's worth me saying that while I'm familiar with a fair chunk of songs from this album, this was the first time I'd listened to it all the way through from front to back. So,
Yeah. So, it's not one of my top songs.
I think it has to be for me, because it's like, for whatever reason, that's a really important factor for me, the way that an album opens.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that going into, I didn't write it down, I don't think. What's the next song that it goes into?
Oh, I'm about to mention that, yeah. The transition into Dead
Yes.
is fucking killer.
It is, man.
I
It's so
don't
good.
think I was listening to it the first time for ages the other day for this, of course, and either I just forgot or I never noticed it, but it went straight into it. It's like
It's so good. It's
fucking
so good.
It's so good, and that goes into Dead, which is one of my top songs. Now that's not to say that The End is a bad song. I will get into the bad
It's
songs in a
not
bit.
the same as, like, Dead wouldn't be the same without the end.
I agree, yeah, but Dead is fantastic.
It's like
Even as a
capsizing the
standalone.
sea into in waves. It just
Yeah.
wouldn't be the fucking
No,
same.
it wouldn't.
Like,
But yeah, Dead, fucking fantastic track.
Yeah, man,
And
I
this
like it.
starts something that. So MCR are known for being emo. The Black Parade is probably their most. Well, it's known as the most emo thing because of the title track. But I actually think a lot of this album's a really happy album. Mm-hmm. Right, Dead is a fucking happy track.
It fucking
It's
is.
just mocking being dead and
it's kick-ass as
yeah,
well.
the fun around it. Dead is such a good song. No, I implore anyone to listen to it. Obviously, some people like Oz or Craig Lenister will not ever listen to it again, I'm sure, if they've listened to it even once, but it's fucking fantastic. Now, that goes into track 3, which is This Is How I Disappear.
I'm not a mad fan, I'll just say that now. There's nothing particularly wrong with it, but I just couldn't get into it. Like, the first 2 songs for me, and bearing in mind this is the first time I've listened to it all the way through, the first 2 songs for me were like, wow, that's so cool. And then it kind of got into this and I was like, that's not so much.
I really like it. It's not one of my top tracks, but it's one that I really like.
Okay.
I find, as we'll go on, you'll see, there's no song that I think's okay. Right, there's songs that I dislike. There's songs that I dislike, a song that I dislike heavily. And there's songs that I love and I really like. There's no like, oh, that's cool. I really like this song.
Okay.
But then track 4, The Sharpest Lives. Fucking love it.
Okay, yeah.
Fucking love that song. I think at one point that's been my favourite.
Ooh, okay.
I've now got a dead set favourite that will never change. But no, Sharpest Lives is brilliant. Just the way how he's talking about if I'm drunk. No, I don't know the lyrics 'cause I'll fuck up now, but there's good lyrics about being drunk and then laughing, dead, and it's just, it makes sense when you're in my head right now. Go listen to the song. Fucking brilliant. So you're not too keen on that one?
No, it was good. It was alright. It was a nice sort of, a little bit of a clawback after, what's the third one?
Third one, This Is How I Disappear.
That's the one. Like,
It
that
looks
was a
like
bit
a
like for me, and then it did like, Sharpest Lives Matter, is it?
Just The Sharpest Lives.
Sharpest Lives.
The Sharpest Lives Matter.
Are you sure? You sure you don't want to call? You sure you don't want to call the podcast that this
I
week?
really would if it wasn't That's Not Metal.
Oh, That's Not Metal / The Sharpest Lives Matter. Come
We'll
on.
roll with it. It might have to happen. Or The Sharpest Lives Matter, That's Not Metal in the brackets. Fuck me. No, it's great. The lyrics I thought of is, if it looks like I'm laughing, I'm truly just asking to leave. Oh, it's fucking good lyrics. Anyway,
I actually thought a lot of the album was quite intelligently written, and I'll go on to more of that when we mention another track later on.
Yep, I feel like I know which one it is, but I might disagree on it. But yeah, there's one particular song I don't like, but I like the lyrics. Anyway, we're skipping track 5, as you said.
Yep.
So track 6 is House
Don't Love You.
of Wolves.
Yes. No. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
Another fantastic track.
Okay.
Love it. Really good song.
I think it's probably, outside of the ones that I already knew, it's definitely the one that I was like most grateful for listening to the album
Yeah.
for.
No, it's good. The drum beats are good. It's a different style of drum beats.
Instrumentally, it's a good song. It's a really good song. And to be fair, like, his voice, Gerard Way, is it?
Yeah.
I'm really not a fan, in case you can tell. His voice is really hit and miss for me. Like, in some songs I really like it, in others I'm not a fan.
And this album as well.
This album is the most consistent that I'm like, yeah, okay, cool.
Okay, yeah.
I haven't listened to any of their others all the way through, naturally, but the songs that I know from other albums, I'm a bit like, ugh.
I see, I really like his voice. Again, I wouldn't rate him as anywhere near the top 10 vocalists, but it seems consistently good to me in the songs that I like, or the albums that I like.
Okay.
I Don't Love You. Just stating that as a fact. And also the next track. Oh, I Don't Love You. Yeah, this is one that it's the best of the non-best.
Right, okay.
So it's...
I have a personal connection to this song.
I've
I really love
underlined
this song.
each song
Okay.
with the ones that I love. This has got a half line.
Okay.
I'll go quickly into it and you go further into it. So it's a softer song, and it's great unless you're not going into personal things, I don't know. But
no, I'm definitely not.
okay, right, yeah. So this is such a good song, but it doesn't go up there. I think there's really good guitar work on it though. And it's catchy as fuck. I was singing it earlier.
Yeah, same. And yeah, that's what's beautiful about the song, really, is that like you don't have to be miserable to listen to it and appreciate it. That's the thing. But if you are miserable, it's probably one of those songs that you'll find a very easy connection to as well. So that's something.
So
love it. I absolutely love the song. I don't care. Like, it doesn't really bring me down. It has the capacity and the possibility to, if I was in like a really low state, I guess. But I never have been while I've listened to that song. I've always just thought like that's a really nicely written song.
right, okay, fair. Yeah. There's 6 songs left. I feel like the next 4 have been positioned very well
Okay.
because the next 4 songs suck.
Okay.
Cancer.
Hate it.
I feel like this is a song. This is a song I don't like at all.
Yeah.
But the lyrics are good when you listen to them. It feels real.
Yeah.
Which is what
okay.
I like. But
Yeah.
I do not like the song.
I was not a fan at all.
Followed by Mama, featuring Liza Minnelli. Awful song.
Really?
Yeah.
See, this is the one that I thought was intelligently written because of the stylization of the song. Like,
Okay.
in the sense that, like, it has that kind of Spanish, like, undertone.
No.
Yeah, like, it's intelligently written. It is intelligently written for somebody that probably doesn't actually have any, like, real standing to write that kind of music. I think he did alright.
Fair. Again, I can't deal with it, to be honest.
Fair enough.
Going into Sleep, another song I just don't like. Nothing great about it. And then finishing the foursome with the worst song on the album by a mile, Teenagers.
I disagree with it being the worst song on the album. I disliked Cancer and Sleep more than I disliked Teenagers, but I agree that it's not really up there.
Right, I feel like...
It's awesome. Like, I love the lyrics. I've put down on here that, like, Teenagers is awesome. I get its importance to a certain crowd. I'm not part of that crowd.
I'm not.
So I understand why it was written. I understand why it appealed to so many people. I just think it was so basic in comparison to the rest of the album.
Yep, I feel like, so going back to the previous three tracks, Cancer, Mama and Sleep, this is where, apart from the title track as well, this is where they were really, this is emo. This is the emotional, slow stuff, the sad stuff. Whereas a lot of the album,
against the man, y'all.
a lot of the album was quite upbeat. Now, Teenagers is the rock star of Nickelback for MCR. Rockstar by Nickelback is a piece of shit.
Yes.
Mainstream song, I fucking despise it. This song I didn't mind when it first came out, and then
When
I'm
it
a
started
person.
getting that kind of attention.
I'm a person that believes that even subconsciously a music video can make or break a song. This music video broke that song, and as soon as I saw the video, I was like, "Oh, this song's actually shit." I don't get why it's become a single. It's awful, but it is definitely for me the worst song on the album.
Fairs. Welcome to
Penultimate.
the Black fucking Parade.
No, it's still-
well, you want the secret song, the hidden song.
No, there's still two more songs at the end of the album.
Which ones have we got?
Disenchanted.
Right, okay.
Again, it's one of those. I like that song quite a lot, but it's not the top songs.
Yeah, okay.
And then the secret song we won't go into. Well, we're going to quickly. Blood. It's like a minute and a half of silence, which no one knew about for ages, and then
him just being a twat at the
yeah,
end.
it's not really.
It's not a song
on the
that I
album.
thought it was funny to worth mention. Famous Last Words.
The best song on the album
You reckon?
by a fucking mile.
Okay.
I love that song to bits. It's so powerful. It's so good. It's just a singing, all of it. The
Would
whole
you
band.
prefer that to Ghost of You?
No.
There you go.
The Ghost of You. We've touched it before. Different album. It was on Three Cheers for Sweet Revenge, which is the former album, or the previous album, sorry. And yeah, that's fantastic. We won't get into that now because we've gone through it in the previous podcast. Watch all of them.
I was curious because obviously that's the only other MCR song that I've heard you say like powerful, really good.
Yeah.
like,
Oh no, that was a different kind of power. This is like powerful. Like yeah, this is awesome. Whereas Ghost of You is like this is inside me. But no, Famous Last Words, absolutely fantastic.
I agree. Yeah, really, really good song.
So, Welcome to the Black Parade. It's the song that got... It was either the song that went to number one, or the song that got this album to number one.
I think it was both.
Only one of them went to number one. I think it was the song. I don't think the album did.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
This was back in 2006.
It was
or
like
something
a
that.
gold or a platinum album, though, wasn't it? It sold loads.
Yeah, I'm sure it sold loads, but didn't go to number one in the UK.
Wow, mad.
So it's back in 2008, actually, because it was 10 years ago, in my year 11 of school. The song, I actually really like it.
Yeah.
But it got overplayed to shit, and then Chav started playing it, and I was like, no thank you.
Okay. See, I'm not. I pride myself on being a bit more diplomatic than that. Like, I can look at people wearing tracksuit bottoms listening to this song and laugh and be like, you
Now
just,
I can, but at the time it was a bit overwhelming. I was like,
yeah, it doesn't really bode well.
it got
does
overplayed. I got to a point where I stopped liking it, but now I
Because
still
you
like
just
it quite a
couldn't
lot.
get away from it. That was
Yeah.
the thing. Like, you could not get away from it. It was like every 5 minutes on the fucking radio, and then you'd change it over, and it would be halfway through playing on another station, and it's like, for fuck's sake. But I do love it. I do really like it. It's a nice. It's intelligently written, and it's a nice blend of like, here's our message, we're going to say it in the saddest way possible, and then halfway through the song, we're going to tear your fucking face off. Like, I love that aspect about it, where it just kicks into like happier vibes, kind of. Sometimes I get that feeling.
It does hit everything.
Over me.
The intro is quite
Such a tune. Like,
it's quite disliked by a lot of people. Even fans
see,
didn't like it too much
I
at times.
respect how relevant that is in his life, though.
See,
I don't
I really-
know much about him as a person, but I know that like you can't not know that about that song, that like the intro and the message behind it was incredibly important to him, like incredibly.
I agree.
And that's all I'm going to say about
It goes from soft and good to upbeat, and as a song, I think it's great.
Yeah, it's balanced, so balanced, really intelligently written.
How are you going to rate it?
Considering it was my first time listening to it all the way through, there are songs on there that I think are less than perfect, put it that way. And there are a couple on there that I'm just like, nah, that's not really a good song for me, personally. However, the whole feel of the album, and being that it was the first time I'd listened to it, and it's the first time I've listened to any My Chem album all the way through, I actually thought, like, okay, fair play. Perhaps I've not given them enough credit as, like, decent musicians. So I gave it a 7 out of 10.
7 out of 10. So I'm laughing at this Sharpest Lives Matter again. Like 7 out of 10, it's a fair result. For me, it's close. There are 10 out of 10 songs on this album. Some Dead, Famous Last Words, and maybe even Sharpest Lives are 10 out of 10 songs.
Yeah.
Those 4 songs kill it. And for that reason, I'm giving it 8 out of 10.
Okay,
still
fair
a
enough.
fairly fucking high rating.
It is still a high rating, and it's higher than I thought you were going to go when you started saying that. I thought maybe 1 point for each song.
I was teetering on 9. But I'm sticking with 8.
Fair enough.
So that is The Black Parade by My Chemical Romance. So before we go into our little outro, I want to say thank you for adapting to our change of scenery.
Yes,
us
we have
going
not
off
done
to eat
very
pizza. The screen has been great, to be fair. The clarity is a lot better.
Yeah, you can see how tired I am. I'm not used to getting
shattered
up
as well.
this fucking early for work. Like,
I'm just not used to driving yet, so it's all crazy. So, thank you very much for joining us. We will be back next week, hopefully.
yes,
And
with-
the topic next week will be what the fucking fuck fucks us off at live gigs.
oh,
Gig etiquette. Right? We'll mention some good things, but it's going to be a lot of ranting next week.
when you're at a gig, which side of the plate do you put your fork?
That was not requested by, what's the words? It was provided,
Suggested.
the idea suggested, my friend, by Courtney Wallace, so thank you very much for that.
Yes.
Now, the next album is Rob's choice, and that album is...
Dun 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 dun! We mentioned it very,
I'm
very
scared.
briefly last week, or the week before. I can't quite remember.
Oh, God, it's gonna-
And I was in a bit of a pinch to pick one, so I have gone with Diamond Eyes by Deftones.
Okay, yeah, I'm down with that.
Yeah?
That's cool. I barely know this album.
That's good. That's
Deftones
good.
are a band I've tried to get into heavily, but we'll go for that next week.
There are albums of theirs that if I placed in front of you, you would probably never listen to the band again.
Right, excellent.
This
I really
is
like
not
the title
one
track,
of those
Diamond Eyes.
albums. This is not
Spoiler
one of those
alert.
albums. There are songs on the album that I think will probably sit uneasily in your ears, and I'm looking forward to seeing what you make of them.
Okay, interesting.
But this is my favourite Deftones album.
I've sorted my Spotify out, so we're all good now after my Apple Music run out. Alright, so usually at this point we will announce the poll. My band, his band. We don't have that ready for you. So, by Wednesday,
We're really unorganised this week. We've had a last minute change of scenery. We've had to adapt the lighting. We were eating pizza halfway through the podcast.
By 7
great.
PM on Wednesday, we will have the poll up. So please do go and vote. I know, no doubt I'll be sharing it on certain pages of my own. Rob will do the same as well. Okay,
Sharp Lives Matter.
yeah. Thank you very much for joining us. It's been a different one, but that was a one-off. Much love. Take care.
Asa!